How does this CAN work? CAN is a multi-master serial bus, meaning there has to be two or more ECUs connected on the network to have a CAN serial communication. CAN. What is Control Area Network, abbreviated as CAN? CAN is a robust vehicle communication standard used by most automotive vehicles for internal communication between ECUs present inside the car. Before we understand the working of CAN, let's look into the history of CAN. Robert Bosch GmbH started the development of CAN bus in 1983. First CAN controller chip were introduced by Intel in 1987. First production vehicle, called Mercedes-Benz W140, contained CAN-based multiplex wiring system. Bosch came up with CAN 2.0 in 1991 with standard and extended CAN format. The standard format CAN had 11-bit of header called as identifier, while extended CAN had 29-bit of identifier. Then later in 2012, Bosch released CAN FT 1.0, that's CAN on flexible data rate, increasing the speed of transmission by 5 to 8 times of classic CAN. So how does this CAN work? CAN is a multi-master serial bus, meaning there has to be two or more ECUs connected on the network to have a CAN serial communication. ECUs are connected by two twisted pair wires and the network is terminated with 120 ohm impedance. Twisted pair wire used in CAN are also called as bus wire. One bus wire is at CAN high volt, other bus wire is at CAN low volt. The differential voltage between the two, that is between CAN high and CAN low, is used to identify the network to be in dominant or receive state. So if CAN high is greater than CAN low, then it's considered as dominant state, interpreted as bit value 0, and CAN high less than or equal to CAN low is considered as receive state, interpreted as bit value 1. Hence the ECU that sets the CAN channel with dominant value first gets the channel, since channel follows AND logic convention. In the sense, ANDing anything with 0 is always 0. Other ECUs will sense this and will back off from communication if it has been sending 1 on the channel. There are two types of CAN signals. High-speed CAN with bit speed ranging from 500 kilobits per second to 1 megabit per second, and low-speed CAN with a bit speed up to 125 kilobits per second. If the network is high-speed CAN and the ECU wants to send a dominant bit, that's 0, then the ECU shall set the CAN high voltage value to 3.5 volt and CAN low to 1.5 volt, creating a differential voltage of 2 volt which indicates dominant bit transmission. In case if there is no transmission by any ECU, then by default the terminating resistance of 120 ohm will bring the network state to receive by bringing the differential voltage to 0 volt. If the network is on low speed CAN and the ECU wants to send a dominant bit, that's 0, then ECU shall set the CAN high voltage value to supply volt, which could be 5 volt or 3.3 volt, sets the CAN low voltage to 0 volt. For receive state, the ECU shall set the CAN high voltage value to 0 volt and CAN low voltage value to supply volt, either 5 or 3 volt. In this case, as you can see, the receiver logic is simpler, since the receiver just has to consider the sign of operation CAN high minus CAN low to determine if the network is dominant or receive. That is, if CAN high minus CAN low is positive, that means the network is in dominant state, and if CAN high minus CAN low is negative, that means the network is in receive state. The speed of the transition from dominant to receive depends highly on the length of the CAN network and the capacitance of the wire used. But receive to dominant transition doesn't depend much on these factors as CAN wires are actively driven. In the next section, we will be looking in depth into the message format, frames, error detection mechanism on CAN. Thank you and stay tuned.